So usually I would like record one of these with my face and make a video that way, but don't really have the time for that. And college is ending, and I'm also moving at the same time. So I'm at home right now. So don't really have all my equipment and don't really have the space to set up to make a video with my face. But I really, really wanted to talk about these playoff games. And I've been putting it off, like thinking like, oh, I can't really record my face, so I'm not gonna make a video. But I can't help myself. These playoff games are so good. They've been so good so far. I'm not really going to talk about every single game one that happened this past weekend because that's gone and past and not really relevant anymore. But we did have two game twos between Philadelphia and Brooklyn and Golden State and Sacramento. And those are my two favorite teams participating in being the Sixers and the Warriors. So I kind of have a lot to say about those games. So I guess we should start off with the Sixers Brooklyn game, seeing that it was probably the less interesting one and the one more predictable. The Sixers came out with a win 96-84. They protect home court and go up 2-0 in this series. As a Sixers fan watching this game, I was very, very nervous, like very nervous. They came out with the double team Embiid plan. However, they came and showed him a lot of double teams, not immediately like they did in game one. They would let him dribble and then go double team him. They also would bring other players from other spots on the double team. So it wasn't the same double team that he was seeing every single time. And it did result in a lot of turnovers from Joel. He looked a little bit uncomfortable in those situations. He did have 8 turnovers for the night. And it looked like in the beginning of the game, and especially the first half, that he was going to struggle, like, very much. He did come down with a lot of rebounds. I believe he had like 15 rebounds in the first half or something like that. There were like 9 in the first quarter. It was ridiculous. He did end the game with 19 rebounds, but his scoring production and the turnovers were kind of killing him all game long. He ended up with 20 points and 8 turnovers. Yes, he did have those 19 boards, almost the 2020 game, but I would say Joel was really not a main factor for the Sixers tonight. It would really be players like Tobias Harris and especially Tyrese Maxey, who came alive in the second half and really put us over the top, because if he wasn't playing well for this game, we could very well be going into Brooklyn with a 1-1 series. Now, Tyrese was very much put in his usual role of, on a fast break or off a rebound. James Harden would outlet the ball to Tyrese, and he would go and try to hit a layup. In the beginning of the game, it looked like he was struggling a little bit to convert on those layups, but as the game waned on, he was able to finish on those hard finishes, get a couple and ones. He ended the game with 33 points on 13 field goals made, and he was shooting the 3-ball well, too. He shot 46% from 3 for the game, which is the highest on the team by far. That 3-point shooting that we had in game one was absolutely not there, and this is more of a grinded out type of game from the Sixers, especially with Joel and James Harden struggling. It was a grinded out game from Tyrese Maxey, from Tobias Harris, who had 20 and 12, and a couple pieces off our bench being in D'Anthony Melton and Paul Reed, giving us energy for us to be able to win this game. Now, on the Brooklyn side, I would be encouraged if I was them, because they had a really good game in the first half. Cam Johnson absolutely baptized Joel Embiid on a poster that I think everybody has probably seen at this point. He ended the game with 28 points and hit a bunch of ridiculous threes. The one I remember the most is he had a 3, I think the shot clock was going down, and someone swung him the ball, and he just absolutely just lifted and catch and shot it so fast, and it was pure. He's a great player coming out of UNC, known as a shooter, and he absolutely lit it up today. Mikal Bridges, who had a good game in game one, ended up with 21, 5, and 7. Good game for him. Spencer Dinwiddie had 12, 4, and 6. And Dorian Finney-Smith was the only other starter that scored with 8, 7, and 1. Decent game from him, but, not really what you're looking for. Seth Curry had a decent game, hitting 3 threes, scoring 9 points with 4 assists. Decent game from him. Royce O'Neal had a pretty all-right game, like an average game for Royce O'Neal, right? You don't really expect much from him, but 6 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Good game from him. But they just weren't able to come out with the win as the Sixers really, like, took over as the game would go on. It looked like it was going to be a Sixers loss, honestly, from the first half. They went down 5, and then they had an absolute swing in the third quarter, outscoring them by 10 points and then outscoring them by 7 in the fourth, giving them the win. Heading into Brooklyn for the Sixers, they're going to need Joel to play well, whether that's passing out of these double teams that he's seeing now or being able to score off these double teams off quick decisions, deciding to dribble the ball, put his head down, and get to the bucket, because no one can really guard him on this Brooklyn team. It's just whether he's going to make the right read out of these double teams, because they are going to double him every single time he catches the ball high, or every single time he puts the ball on the floor, especially in the low block. He's going to get double teamed. So whether he's able to draw these fouls or make a play out of it is what Joel is going to have to do for the Sixers to be able to get these wins on the road. I did personally predict Brooklyn was going to steal a game, because that's just what Philly does. They let teams that are inferior to them eventually steal a game. So that's what I predicted was going to happen, whether that's game 3 or game 4. I think Brooklyn is going to win one of these games. Mikal Bridges could have another lights-out performance, and Philly might not be able to handle that on the road. So I definitely think they can walk away with 1, but this series should end in at least 5, if not 4. But they're going to need Joel to play well, if not James Harden to play well, to be able to get these wins on the road. Now we can go ahead and move over to Golden State and Sacramento, which this is honestly the series of the first round for me. Me being a Golden State fan, I'm invested in watching this team and I want to see them go far, but you can't not like Sacramento, and you can't not like their story that they've had this season, being their first playoff series in 16 years. The whole beam thing, it's fun to watch, and they play fast. They play really fun. So it's hard not to like this, and these teams are really evenly matched. Like, this game was not decided until the fourth quarter, when Sacramento went on their little run with like 2 minutes left to go, and they ended up winning this game. Sacramento would win 114-106. It looked like Golden State, honestly, they had the control in the first quarter at least. They went up 23-17 to end the first quarter, and they looked like they had all the confidence to take away one of these road wins that they needed in order to win this series, knowing that Sacramento has home court for the series. It looked like they were going to take it away this game. They were playing a good game, 23-17 in the first quarter, like I said. They looked like they were in control, and then the second quarter started, and Sacramento just absolutely lit them up. They scored 41 points in the second quarter, outscoring them by 12 points in the second quarter, and going up on halftime. And Golden State, honestly, from there, just looked deflated. They played an even game with Sacramento the rest of the game, but the second quarter was the difference. They lost the third quarter by 2 points, 23-25, and they played an even fourth quarter for 31-31. So they needed a push, and they just weren't able to push past Sacramento for the rest of the game. And like everyone knows, Sacramento was absolutely clutch in that fourth quarter. Draymond Green got ejected for absolutely stepping on Sabonis' chest. That was absolutely ridiculous. Even as a Golden State fan, I can't really justify Draymond stepping on Sabonis' chest after he he lightly grabbed his leg. That did not warrant Draymond stepping on Sabonis' chest like that. He stomped on it, if you haven't seen it, and it was a little bit ridiculous. He absolutely deserved that flagrant 2. I don't know if Sabonis should have got a flagrant 1 on that. He did grab his leg a little bit, but I will let Twitter decide that. But Draymond gets ejected late in the fourth quarter, and the game is a wrap from there, honestly. Steph is doing everything he can. So is Clay. Clay hit a couple clutch threes from that left wing, but it wasn't enough for them to push past Sacramento, as they were able to hit some timely threes. I know De'Aaron Fox hit one from the top of the key. Davion Mitchell hit one in the corner that iced the game for me. That kind of looked like, okay, this is wraps. This is game over. Golden State isn't coming back. There's not enough time left. And Sacramento is able to walk away with a 2-0 lead heading into Golden State. Golden State is now in a must-win scenario where they have to win Game 3 and probably Game 4 for them to have a chance in this series. They need to tie it up 2-2. They need to protect their home court. And then they need to be able to go into Sacramento and steal either Game 5 or Game 7. So it's going to be tough for the Warriors, but I think they can do it. I'm still picking the Warriors to win this series in 7. It's going to be tough for them because they do have to get one on the road, and they've been an awful road team all year long. But these first 2 games have shown me that they're ready to show up. Sacramento is just a good team, and they were able to protect home court. Of course, that Kings crowd being way, way, way louder than I could expect. Like, being a Philly fan, I know the Philly crowd is loud and we're kind of all over the place, but this Kings crowd, after not being in the playoffs, is absolutely crazy. The final buzzer went off when the game ended, and I don't think I could hear it because the crowd was so loud. It's crazy what these Kings fans are doing. They're absolutely showing out for their team right now. Like I said, the Kings are going to have to steal one on the road to put this series away early, or Golden State is going to have to protect home court in order for them to win in 7. They need to steal one on the road, though, either Game 5 or Game 7, and they would have a chance at winning this series. I think they do have a chance at winning this series. Golden State's crowd is just as crazy as these Kings fans, probably not at the moment, but Golden State was an amazing home team all season long. They don't really lose on their home floor, so we can predict them winning these 2 games at home. And this series hopefully going 7 because it's a great series. These offenses are both high-powered. They just hit you with gut punches back and forth every single time. It feels like someone finally made their move. Like, this is the game-ending play right here. And it's just not, because the other team will just come back with a quick 3 or hit you with a move to the lane and get a layup, and that'll be it. But it's not it, because these teams are going back and forth, and this is just a great series to watch. It's so much fun. It had me out of my seat watching it in my kitchen last night at like 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. It's ridiculous. This series is great, and I kind of just wanted to keep going on. So hopefully we can get 2 Golden State wins at home. That's the non-Golden State bias in me talking right now, but I really want it because this series is really, really good. So hopefully that keeps going on. I think I should talk about the box score real quick. Golden State, Steph played 40 minutes. He had 28 points with 3 rebounds and 6 assists. Andrew Wiggins was playing great defense, 5 rebounds and a steal with 22 points for about 39 minutes. Klay Thompson kind of came alive in that fourth quarter, like I said. 21, 5, and 3. And Jordan Poole's still kind of unplayable. He's just not the same player as Steph Curry, which is no knock on him because it's hard to be Steph Curry. But, like, he was only played for 15 minutes, had 4 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist. He just can't replace Steph. Steph needs to be on the floor for 40 minutes plus a game for the Warriors to even have a chance at winning the series. Gary Payton played really, really well in his minutes off the bench. Had 13 points with 6 rebounds and 2 steals, playing great defense. Like I said, Draymond Green got ejected. He played for 31 minutes before he was ejected, had 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Kevon Looney was in foul trouble for most of the game. He picked up his 5th really, really early. Only managed to stay on the floor for 22 minutes. Had 6 points, 7 rebounds, and an assist. Good game for the Warriors, but better game for Sacramento as they had a really balanced attack with De'Aaron scoring 24, Kevin Huerter scoring 15, Sabonis having a bounce-back game scoring 24, but absolutely going through the ringer, getting fouled every single time he went up on the paint. They were like swarming over Sabonis, trying to do anything they could to stop him in the paint. Harrison Barnes had 2 really huge dunks over Klay Thompson, scored 13 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist. Off the bench, Davion Mitchell had 14. Malik Monk had 18. This Kings team is just really, really good. They came out firing and did not let up once that second quarter ended. And Golden State just couldn't come back. Like I said, hopefully this series goes 7 because it's absolutely amazing. I want to see a back and forth between these 2 teams, and I just wanted to go on for as long as possible.